As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
The New Orleans Saints are going to be on the road taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Saints defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week 34-23, and the Las Vegas Raiders defeated the Carolina Panthers 34-30. And for the Saints, the biggest question mark going into this game for the Saints is going to be Michael Thomas not playing. Michael Thomas is going to be out for the next couple of weeks, and who's going to step in and replace him? And for the Saints, losing Michael Thomas is going to be a significant loss. And I know a lot of people make fun of Michael Thomas because everybody seems to only say that he just runs slant routes. But I mean, the fact that he's so good at running slant routes is what makes the Saints offense so good. Because, I mean, him running slant routes like an easy 5 to 6 yards for the Saints offense. And the fact that he's not going to be playing for the next couple of weeks is going to be a really big loss for the Saints. But you still do have enough talent that despite not having Michael Thomas there, you still should really be really good on offense. I mean, you have Sean Payton, who is one of the best offensive minds in NFL history. You got Drew Brees, who is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. You got Alvin Kamara. You got one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. You got Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders, although he's on the last leg of his NFL career, his playing days are winding down, he's still good enough to be the Saints' number one wide receiver in this offense until Michael Thomas returns. And the guy who I really like a lot, who I think could benefit from Michael Thomas being absent for the next couple of weeks, is going to be wide receiver Tre'Quan Smith. Now, Tre'Quan Smith hasn't really done that much for the New Orleans Saints offensively over the last couple of years. Even though he has caught like four or five touchdowns last year, I want to see what he's going to do in Michael Thomas' absence. Because I think that Tre'Quan Smith is a guy who could benefit with Michael Thomas being out. And I mean, I think he could have a breakout game against this Las Vegas Raiders secondary. That this Las Vegas Raiders secondary, isn't all that great. And I mean, they played the Carolina Panthers last week. And I know the Carolina Panthers, they like to dink and dunk their way down the field and things like that. But let's not act like the Raiders secondary didn't give up a 75-yard bomb to Robbie Anderson. So, I mean, this Raiders secondary still has a lot of question marks and a lot of concerns going into this game. So, I mean, for this New Orleans Saints offense, you're facing a Las Vegas Raiders defense that still, we don't really know how good they are. And based on what happened last week against the Carolina Panthers, I don't think the Saints should have any problems putting up points on this Las Vegas Raiders defense. And for the Las Vegas Raiders, offensively, Josh Jacobs won the game. You basically relied on Josh Jacobs to win you the game, and he delivered. And he scored 3 touchdowns. And Derek Carr didn't really have to do all that much. And for the Raiders in this game, I think the game plan shouldn't be any more different than what it was last week against the Carolina Panthers. Although the New Orleans Saints do have a significantly better defense than the Carolina Panthers by a landslide, I still feel like the recipe for success for the Raiders is running the football, giving Josh Jacobs the football. And if you are the New Orleans Saints, you got to be able to key in on Josh Jacobs, and you got to stop him. Because the Raiders are going to utilize him, not just run the football, but they're also going to try to get him involved in the passing game as well. And also your secondary pretty much has to play better than what the Carolina Panthers did last week. Because the Carolina Panthers secondary was just absolutely unwatchable. Like, the fact that Nelson Agholor scored a touchdown just made my skin crawl. And that's nothing to take away from Nelson Agholor or anything like that. Like, kudos to him for scoring the touchdown. But, I mean, the Saints secondary should fare a lot better than the Carolina Panthers secondary. So, if you are a Las Vegas Raiders fan, don't just be expecting you to put up a lot of points like how you did against the Carolina Panthers, because the Saints have a significantly better defense than the Panthers, which we already know that. I shouldn't really have to elaborate too much on that. But, I mean, for the Raiders to win this game, you need to give the ball to Josh Jacobs. We already know that the game plan shouldn't really change. And for the Saints to win this game, I think you need to stop Josh Jacobs and, rely on Derek Carr to win this game for the Raiders. And, I mean, Derek Carr is more than capable of winning the game for the Raiders if they need him to. Like, I'm not saying that to take any shots at Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr is more than capable that if the Raiders need to rely on him to carry this team to a victory, he can do that. But I mean, overall, this is a game that pretty much could be really high scoring. Now, I don't think the Raiders are necessarily going to put up 34 points on the Saints defense like they were able to put up on the Panthers defense. So like I said, this is more of a better defense than the Carolina Panthers defense that they faced last week. But I mean, this Saints defense does have their question marks. Like, Tampa Bay was able to put up 23 points on them, and that was with Tom Brady throwing multiple pick six, or throwing the interception, throwing the pick six, and having all those miscues and things like that. But I mean, this is a Saints defense that, when they're playing at their best, is really good. And my knock on the Saints defense is the fact that they have a lot of talent. It's just that they play inconsistent. Some weeks they play lights out. Other weeks they don't really play all that well. So, I mean, my question is going to be, what New Orleans Saints defense are we going to see in this game? Are we going to see the Saints defense that shut down the Buccaneers last week? Or are we going to see a Saints defense that's just going to allow a lot of points? Okay? And both of these offenses are more than capable of lining up the scoreboard. And I'm going to take the Saints to win this game. Obviously, because the Saints are a better team. And I mean, although the Saints are missing their best wide receiver and Michael Thomas, they still have a lot of options in the passing game to make up for his loss. Like, you got Jared Cook. Jared Cook had a really nice performance against the Buccaneers last week. He's going to be another guy who's going to benefit from Michael Thomas being out. Traquan Smith. Like I said earlier, I have a lot of confidence in Traquan Smith being able to have a breakout game against this Las Vegas Raiders secondary. And also you have Emmanuel Sanders. So, I mean, for the Raiders, I mean, they should put up a good amount of points in this game, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. I do think that this Saints defense is going to be able to get a couple of key stops in this game, and that's why I'm going to take the Saints to win. And I think the Saints win this game 30-23 is going to be my final score prediction in this game, because the Las Vegas Raiders should be able to put up some points in this game, because the Las Vegas Raiders do have a pretty good offense. They do have more than enough talent to give this Saints defense some problems. But overall, I just have to take the Saints, because I think the Saints are going to be able to get the job done, because I do think this defense can be able to shut down Josh Jacobs. I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to have the game that he had last week against the Carolina Panthers on this New Orleans Saints defense, because this is a significantly better defense than what the Raiders faced last week. And also, I do think that Drew Brees is going to have a pretty good showing against a not-so-great Raiders pass defense. And overall, if the Raiders want to win this game, this defense is going to have to step up and get some key stops. And I don't really think they're going to be able to do it, because they weren't able to do it against the Carolina Panthers. If it wasn't for a boneheaded decision to decide to go for it on fourth down, instead of giving the ball to Chris McCaffrey, you hand it off to your fullback. I mean, the Carolina Panthers could have won that game. So, I mean, overall, I just don't really have a lot of confidence in this Raiders defense. So, I mean, I chose the Raiders to win last week because I didn't have a lot of confidence in the Carolina Panthers defense. But now it seems like the roles are reversed. I'm choosing the Raiders to win this game because I don't think they're going to have enough talent on defense to stop the Saints offense. And although the Saints are going to be without Michael Thomas, I don't really think that's going to be much of an issue with how bad the Las Vegas Raiders secondary has been over the last couple of years. And like I said, this is a new secondary. This is a more improved secondary. But still, the narrative is out on this Raiders secondary. Still don't really know how good they are. I mean, they showed some flashes last week, but they did give up a 75-yard touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson. So I'm taking the Saints to win this one. 31-23 is my final score prediction in this game. I'm taking the Saints.